Welcome to PFACS on EcoDev, the show that takes you inside the economic development of Pflugerville, Texas. I'm your host, Chris Daly, and each episode we will introduce you to the people and events that make our city so attractive to companies and their employees. Pfluger Talk is just another of the impactful initiatives created by the PCDC, Pflugerville Community Development Corporation. All right, everybody join me in welcoming Traci Hendrix, the Career and Technical Education Director for Pflugerville ISD, to the show. Traci, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me.
Cool. And for those of us in the audience who don't know what the CTE is and does, give us an explanation of all the programs that are going on.
Yeah, so career and technical education in high school today probably isn't what most of us remember. When we were growing up, you may have had, an opportunity to participate in an ag science class or a home economics or shop class, they used to be called. And now we offer in Pflugerville over 22 different programs where students start to explore careers in middle school, and then they can choose a program for high school that ranges from animal science, veterinary medicine to engineering, manufacturing, culinary arts, automotive. And so we're just doing the best we can to work with industry and community to make sure that we're offering students opportunities to prepare for in-demand occupations.
I love that. And you're right. We had shop class and home ec when I was going to school.
Yep.
But, it is so different and so much better these days.
There are a lot more opportunities for students to take advantage of, and we've learned a lot over the years about the importance of connecting that learning experience to what students like to call the real world so that they can see the value and see what they're learning in action and how it's going to connect to a career, not just a job. Right,
and it's not just textbook information. Some of these have actual certificates and certifications, right?
They do. As a matter of fact, we currently have 4 programs that culminate in a complete college credential. We have a program that helps students get an associate's degree in computer programming or teaching, and then we also have 2 programs that earn level 1 college certificates in either manufacturing or automotive.
Wow, that's amazing. And the reason, or I guess what brought us together, is the PCDC grant that went to help building out the Fire and EMT Academy Mobile Learning Lab. Talk about what that is.
Yeah, so we're super excited to be one of not very many school districts in the state of Texas that have a fire academy and an EMT academy where students can actually earn their fire certification and an emergency medical technician certification. And part of the required training for the students is that they need to learn to function as an EMT in the confined spaces of an ambulance. And our students actually, through a partnership with Travis County Emergency Services District, get to experience that when they do their hospital rotations and their ambulance ride-outs. But those are limited opportunities for the students because of the number of hours that are available to them. So we wanted to give them an opportunity to take some of their classroom and lab time at the campus level and really expand on that ambulance learning piece. And then also have that ambulance be available to serve as a recruitment tool for students who may be interested in joining the program and, want to just see kind of what that learning environment looks like. But yeah, it's a decommissioned, fully functional ambulance that we were able to purchase with the grant from PCDC and outfit with the same industry standard equipment that's being used in ambulances that are in service all over the state.
Yeah, so when you say it was decommissioned, they stopped using it in regular rotation, but then you go in there and you bring it up to speed, up to date, right?
That's correct, yes. This ambulance was in service at one time with a public serving ambulance, either fire department or ambulance service, and they have to take those out of service after so many years, but they are still, in many cases, perfectly usable for training. And so we were able to purchase it through an auction with the grant funds and bring it into the state and outfit it so that if it wasn't a high mileage vehicle, it could probably still be used by an ambulance service.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I guess tell me how that got started, because, PCDC, they're looking for community development and looking for opportunities to help. Were y'all actively seeking that, or how did that connection happen?
Well, when I came to Pflugerville ISD, I was quickly introduced to Amy Madison and the PCDC as a partner that we, definitely should be connected to and working with. And PCDC has definitely proven to be a very valuable partner for the school district because we have the same goals, which is economic development for our community. And we are kind of that workforce training piece that PCDC can funnel funds through from grants like this one. And so we had already been working with PCDC and the Texas Workforce Commission grant. It's called the High Demand Job Training Grant, to fund equipment for the fire and EMT programs. And then we started talking with our partners at Travis County ESD and exploring the options for eventually adding an ambulance. And PCDC actually approached us with an opportunity to apply for the community engagement grant. And we all felt like this would have been, or was the perfect opportunity.
Excellent. And it sounds like, y'all have similar goals, looking for economic development. But talk about how a program like this attracts business and, more importantly, keeps talent in the area.
So the program has been in place, over 5 years now. But in the early stages of the program, it was very classroom based, and we didn't really have the equipment that we needed to make it what we call industry standard, meaning the students are learning on and using the same equipment that they would use in the field. And so that really can hinder a program's growth. And our goal, of course, is to help these students be as prepared as possible. So our industry partners really start to get engaged with the program when they're seeing the students use and train on the same things that they use in the field. And so being able to bring that into the program is valuable to our students, but also our partners, because it makes it easier for them to work with us in training the students. So we're side by side. They're coming in and bringing their expertise. They're using equipment they're already familiar with, and they're helping the students to train on that.
Nice. And when you hear decommissioned, again, you've already explained that it's not just an old ambulance. It's not I guess what they call a touch a truck event where you just come and look at it.
Right.
They're in there. They're working shoulder to shoulder, and they're going through what they need to, right?
They are, yes. As a matter of fact, a secondary community engagement grant from PCDC funded what is called a power load stretcher. And this is industry standard equipment that's required on ambulances with Travis County ESD. And so it is a stretcher that has a very sophisticated mounting system and has power that loads and unloads the stretcher to protect the EMTs, but also the patients. And it's very sophisticated, and it takes a little bit of training to learn how to properly use that and be safe for yourself and for the patient. Having that in our training ambulance is helping our students to be even more prepared.
Excellent. And speaking of the students, talk about the students that you've served through this, and, what kind of numbers of kids have gotten trained and now are part of that valuable workforce.
It's been really one of the most rewarding parts of my job. I've been with the district 5.5 years now and seen the program grow exponentially each year. We are now serving the maximum number of students that we can hold in one class at a time, and that's simply from the perspective of how many kids you can put in a hospital at a time and on an ambulance at a time. So we're now at 35 students in our EMT program and about 20 in our fire academy. And over the course of the last 5 years or so, we've trained well over 100 students. We have had 12 students that have gone through the program that have entered full-time employment as either firefighters or emergency medical technicians. And what's really exciting for us is we even have a couple of students who are now in paramedic school, which is the next career step for them, and they're coming back and helping to train our future EMTs.
Very cool, very cool. And we've touched on PCDC, the grants and the involvement with them early on. But what else is their involvement? They don't just hand you a check and then go on about their way, right?
No, they don't. And that's probably what has been the most valuable. The funding is so very important for us to be able to bring this equipment in. But what I think is even more important is that they are a connector to the community for us. So PCDC has been really great at introducing us to employers that are interested in partnering to build their workforce. The goal, like PCDC wants to bring business in and help grow our community. Well, those businesses can only come here if they know they're going to have a skilled workforce and a way to access that workforce. And so PCDC helps connect us to those employers so that we can make sure that the training we're providing is in fact preparing a skilled labor that they can tap into.
Excellent. Yeah. And they I guess spread the news, the story. I first read about this in their press release, then saw it on LinkedIn, and then we're doing this cool show together. Yeah, they're fantastic partners for introducing us to potential employer partners for funding our programs and supporting them in that way, but then also just advocacy. I don't know of a louder, prouder voice than my own in the community, and so we certainly appreciate that about PCDC. I love that. Well, Traci Hendrix, I want to thank you so much for sitting down with me, sharing what is a really impressive story and just some great positive results for the city.
Thank you very much. Any opportunity I get to brag on our programs, I'm all there for it, but mostly our teachers and our students. They are phenomenal, and it brings me joy every day to watch them succeed.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the PFAX on EcoDev show, brought to you by the Pflugerville Community Development Corporation. I'm your host, Chris Daly. I want to thank my guests. I also especially want to thank you, the listener, for giving me what I consider the most important gift you can, your time, your attention. Please like and share this show so we can get it in front of more people and more people can learn about economic development. To learn more about Pflugerville and all the amazing things going on, head over to pfdevelopment.com.